Welcome back guys, and today we're diving back into the Golf. In the last episode we got the whole front end on, got the cutouts for the little washer jets for the headlights, just tidied it up, got it ready for the ride and actually drove it around a bit. And in order to drive it around I had to replace this pipe right here and top up with coolant, which has dropped a little bit. I don't even see that, it's now below the minimum mark, but as kind of expected, there's probably a little air pocket around here somewhere that's just sort of flowing through throughout the week. And the other nice thing is, obviously I was worried about the battery last week. Well, this morning it started, after a week of being sat, it started first time on the button. I'm happy, the battery's fine. So my plan for today is to give the car a little bit of a service. I have bought myself various service components which can all go in here, and then after that I was just gonna give it a bit of a clean and get it ready. However, generally I like to make a bit of a start before I get the camera out, so I'm sort of ahead of the game and you're not seeing me do quite boring things, which has meant I've discovered a little bit of a setback. Upon removing all the plastics, I have discovered this monstrosity. The first thing I noticed was just how much oil was in this area and just dumped all over the pipes. And then I noticed that the breather pipe for the cam cover had split and had been strangely attempted to be repaired with what looks like electrical tape. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one, to be honest. Bearing in mind that the first owner of this car had it for 18 years, I got a feeling that this might have been done by the second owner. The bad news about that is there's absolutely no way I can get that new part today. So there's no point filling it with oil because it's just gonna pour out again. And there's no point changing the oil because it's open, the breather's open, things can get in. The only upside about this is it could be the cause of the high-pitched noise under boost, which has had me worried slightly about maybe a boost leak or a vac leak or something along those lines, which we heard last week in this clip here. Unfortunately though, I'm not really willing to drive it anywhere while this is like that. Until that's replaced, this car is just gonna, idle and just moved around the driveway to make it easier for me to work on. Which leaves me with a bit of dilemma. What can I actually do today? I've already taken the punctured tyre out of the boot, and I've found a few little goodies here and there. We've got some very cool tinted safety glasses. I noticed down here there's a little parcel. What's this? Brown shoelaces. Each to their own. But there's not much else in it. As for inside the car, I mean, there's some bits of broken plastic about and some deionized water, but these were either already here when I picked the car up or I put them in here myself, so there's not really anything interesting here either. And I've already searched the glove box and any cubby that I can find for any sort of paperwork or service record or anything, and there's nothing here. I've just spotted that though. Well, I thought I'd found something, but actually this is 10,000 miles in 2004, so it's kind of irrelevant at this point. I've also just found this here, which I'm pretty damn sure is a used plaster. Okay, moving on. So since I'm at this sort of standstill point of the build, where I've got to wait for a part before I can really move forward, might be a good time to give the engine a little health check. So in these 3 boxes here, I have various tools that I need to check an engine's health. So the first box is a compression tester. The second box is a caliper wind-back tool. This is the wrong box. And the third box is a cylinder leak down tester, which is full of bits of tree. Now I thought I had my vacuum tester here with me, but apparently I don't. But I'm not too concerned, I've got no engine code, so I'm not really concerned about a vacuum leak. Wow, all 4 of these are absolutely dripping in oil at the end there. Now normally I'd say that is a cam cover gasket, however If you look down there, you can see where the coil has been dragged up the wall, but all the oil just seems to be sat in the bottom. It doesn't seem to have leaked down, but that could be because this engine hasn't run for a little while. But all four are exactly the same, just full of oil right down by the spark plug. So I think cam cover gasket is definitely going to be added to the list here. Another part that I need, that I've got to wait for. This car's just endless. And on top of that, I jacked it up a minute ago and had a look underneath, and the centre box is blowing. So I need a centre box exhaust as well. But to be honest, none of that matters if this engine isn't healthy. So let's double check the compression, double check the leak down, make sure everything's sweet, and then we can move forward. The amount of times I've worked on cars where one or two spark plugs are different from the others, I don't understand it. Why would you not replace all four? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Also, you may have noticed me using this magnet to pull the spark plugs out. A little bit of rubber is missing in my spark plug socket, so that's just my life now. It is what it is. So here are the spark plugs. We've got 3 NGK-Rs and 1 Bosch, I think it is. It's a Bosch spark plug, but whatever, they all look like they are the same. It's impossible to know whether they were burning rich or lean because, well, they're covered in oil. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, let's compression test this engine and go from there. Now, if you don't know what a compression test is, it's a really easy way of diagnosing whether the engine, all its seals internally are good. So the piston rings and things. So as a piston moves through its cycle, it will come up to the top, squeezing fuel and air in a mixture as it would under normal running circumstances. And all this does is to make sure that it's still maintaining that correct pressure. It's not leaking that pressure out past the piston rings or maybe through a valve or something. And so you use a little gauge and a little bit of hose that goes into where the spark plug is, and we turn the engine over to see what compression we get. So let's pop this thing on and turn the engine over a few times and see what happens. And now with that in place, it's twisted into where the spark plug will go. We're just going to start the engine. Well, we're not going to start the engine, it won't start, it's got no spark plugs. We're going to turn the engine over on the start motor, give it a few revolutions, and then this gauge should settle at a certain compression. And that's how we do our test. Alright, and there we go, guys. So the compression test shows that this cylinder is holding 177-ish psi. So as long as the other 3 pistons match that number, then this engine is healthy. I mean, that seems like a really good number to me. Really good compression. I don't know what compression should be on this engine, but I mean that's a good number. That's a good number. I've seen much lower on much newer engines, so we'll just see if they all match, really. So there we go, guys. Compression test complete. This one's reading 175. Don't you see that on the screen there? And also cylinders 1 and 3 were reading 177. They're all good. Cylinder 2's a little bit concerning. It's running at about 165. So we're 10 psi off, but I mean, it's not the worst. It could be worse. It hasn't lost all compression. It's a little bit low. Maybe an oil change will help the situation. who knows. So next we do the leak down test. So in order to do a leak down test, you need a leak down tester, you need power, you need a compressor, and you need some airline. Yeah. Not only do I not have any airline to connect it to the leak down tester, but also this compressor has stopped working. And I don't just have a spare one kicking about, so I guess no leak down test. I'm not overly concerned. The compression test came out pretty good. I can't see any problems. If I can do a leak down test soon, I will, but for the time being, I'm pretty happy. So other than oil pouring out of every orifice, I'm going to give this engine a thumbs up. I think it's good. I think it'll be a nice reliable engine for quite a while to come. So at this point, guys, I've kind of run out of things I can do. There's lots of things that need to be done, but I need either parts or tools to do them. So I think I'm going to end the video here. It's been a bit of a disappointing day. I haven't got as much done as I hoped, but you know, we're moving forward, and you know, this car needs to be done very soon, so I'm really gonna have to pull my finger out to reach the deadline in time. So I hope you've enjoyed it, guys. It wasn't the best episode in the world. I wish we could have got more done, but if you did enjoy it, please go check out my other videos. I've got loads of stuff. The amount of progress I've made on this, the amount of progress I've made on my van. I've even already I've repaired a whole other van, and that has already been sold and gone. So check that one out if you're interested. As for me, guys, I'm going to throw this car back together. I'm going to go home, and I hope I catch you in the next one. Peace.